Welcome back to 360 Sports. I'm Isabel, your host for today, alongside with Cassie, Sophia, and Hudson. Today we'll be talking about hockey. So getting right into our headlines, the NHL is finally back, with 16 teams that have already faced off. Last night, 3 teams had shutouts and 4 teams scored 6 points or more, as well as the Panthers on Tuesday. What are your thoughts on the teams that won, and what did you expect? And what did you expect of these teams to come out of the gate so strong?
I mean, I'm a Pittsburgh fan, so I was pretty disappointed seeing my team get a 6-0 shutout. But you know what? The Rangers, they're looking pretty good right now. So are the Winnipeg Jets. I mean, the Golden Knights, they scored 8-4 against the Avalanche, so they're also looking really hot.
Yeah, most definitely. Backing off with the Penguins, I was rooting for the Penguins, not wanting the Rangers to win. I think the big takeaway from that game, I was surprised with, I believe that it was 5 different players who scored the 6 goals. So I was a little surprised on that, especially with it being the Penguins' home opener and then Crosby being there for a total of 20 seasons. I kind of thought maybe they were going to gain some momentum just based off the energy and what they were expecting. So I was a little sad with that game.
Yeah, I think the Penguins definitely need to figure some things out. Tristan Jarry didn't look so great in the goal, but like you said, the Rangers are on fire. They're already looking really good. I also think both the Maple Leafs and Canadiens, I mean, they both look pretty solid. The Maple Leafs had more shots, but they couldn't capitalize, which led to the Cole Caulfield goal. I also, honestly, I didn't really expect the Jets to fly past the Oilers like they did, but yeah.
I mean, the Calgary Flames and the Canucks, they had a really good game last night.
I mean, it's like Canucks blowing leads has been going since like an issue since last season. I feel like especially with Dakota Joshua and Danko being out for like 3-4 seasons, starting this season is gonna be something of a kind of a setback for them. But just going off for the Pittsburgh one, we also had the Shesterkin contract rumors and contract denied. What do you guys think about that?
I think that's pretty crazy. And he could have been like the highest paid goalie.
Yeah.
He denied it. I think it'll be interesting to see where he lands then if he doesn't stay with the Rangers, because he is a great goaltender. So I think a lot of teams would be lucky to have him, especially teams who, are struggling, who need a goaltender coming up.
Probably the Penguins could use him the most right now.
Yeah, most definitely. I was surprised with him not accepting the deal. That just makes me think of what's going on behind the scenes. Is he having trouble with the staff, maybe with the players, just kind of more like on his side of things? I kind of want to pick his brain to see, like, why didn't you make that decision?
Yeah, and then jumping back into that Colorado-Vegas game, I think normally when a team gets a hat trick, like Rantanen had a hat trick, normally you're the team that wins. That was not at all the case in that game. Vegas totally blew through them, which I was really surprised about. I like watching the Avalanche. I think they're a fun team to watch. They're very talented. But Vegas really showed what they're capable of, especially at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, and I feel like the representation of, like, you need to have also team spirit in the NHL was not about, like, one player being the greatest. I mean, the Vegas, not sure exactly, but it was, like, only 2 players who scored twice.
Yeah.
So just having that general, like, mix-up of players scoring is just great, and I feel like you need that to win a game in the NHL.
Yeah, most definitely. All right, then. Then moving on to our next headline, among the teams who played, the Seattle Kraken officially welcomed Jessica Campbell as the first female assistant coach in the NHL. What do you think this means for the league, and will it help the sport of hockey reach a bigger female audience?
I think that this is huge for the league. I am a huge fan of Jessica Campbell. This is huge for women just trying to get into the industry. She's a huge trailblazer. She might be the first, but I don't think she's going to be the last. And you can tell when she had her interview in intermission, she knows exactly what she's talking about. She knows the team. She was a coach for their AHL team, and then she moved up to get her role that she has now, and it's so well-deserved. So I love this, and I think it's great for the sport.
Most definitely. I had mentioned, I wanted to mention, how it's so well-deserved, and then it's not like she just randomly got this position one day. She fought to get here, especially it being so big for her, being not just behind the scenes, but being behind the bench at an NHL game, just showing women our age, younger women, older women, seeing that it's possible for us to be involved in the NHL. That's not just a men's sport. Like, we're able to make an impact, and her involvement is just so huge, and I can't get past it. I'm so excited, and I hope that other NHL teams and organizations are looking towards women also to put behind the bench, because she's shown that women deserve to be there. So I'm excited to see more women be involved.
Definitely. And I feel like just seeing women in leadership positions, not only the NHL, I want to highlight that, but also college hockey is super incredible and important. I know the Philadelphia Flyers last year, they had Kara Murray, who's the head coach for Princeton hockey, women's hockey, also being an assistant coach, I believe, in their like preseason. And I just feel like the viewership is definitely going to go up for girls and just wanting to play in general because they feel represented. And also, I feel like leagues like the PWHL also bring a lot to the game. So, yeah.
I definitely think it's going to be huge for the league. I mean, Jessica's definitely going to be an inspiration for other women to get into like more management positions and coaching staff positions. I mean, it's huge for the hockey league.
Yeah, most definitely. I can't wait to see the direction she goes moving forward, and then seeing especially how the Seattle Kraken use her to their advantage, because she's an amazing coach at the end of the day, and I just can't wait to see how that grows them as an organization. All right, so then into our next headline, the Utah Hockey Club inaugurated their season with a 5-2 win over the Blackhawks on Tuesday. Was this expected, especially against a team that has grown with Connor Bedard's presence? What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think that it's obviously big for them. You know, they're at a new home, new fans. It was a sold out crowd is what I read about it. So I think that definitely a great win for them, a good step in the right direction. I expected them to win. Like, I get that the Blackhawks are growing with Bedard's presence, but I don't think they're growing that much with it.
Yeah.
So I kind of expected it, but I think it's definitely just a great step in the right direction for them.
I mean, I definitely expected it. I mean, Chicago, just in general, like in terms of sports, are not doing great. But I mean, the Utah Hockey Club, they got all the eyes on them right now. They're the newest team in NHL, so they're definitely going to try their best to perform very well.
Yeah, most definitely. I know people who personally went to that game, and they said everyone obviously talked about how the crowd was so excited, that everyone excited for the new team there. But he was there, and he said that it was nothing like he's ever experienced before. He's been to past NHL games, and just the aura, the energy of the arena was just something that, for it being their first game, like you would have thought that they just won the cup, or just like the energy was unbelievable.
Can I bring up the fact that like also I feel like having the first goal less than 5 minutes into the game definitely brought that spirits up. And I mean, they went 2-0 into the second period, so it was definitely a solid game for both teams. But
I mean, you got to wonder how Dylan Gunther feels being the first goal in Utah Hockey Club history. Nobody can take that away from him.
Yeah, and then I just think it's overall, and then it being 4 minutes and 56 seconds into the first period. I mean, that will forever be in history, not only just for him, but for the team as a whole, for that arena. That was just huge. And then going off of the Blackhawks, I was a little sad. I mean, with them losing, but I was going for Utah at the end of the day. I kind of expected maybe the Blackhawks to kind of show more of a team presence, especially with them kind of rearranging their roster. Adding a main guy I thought was important was Teuvo Teravainen. He came from Carolina. I thought he did make his presence known with scoring the goal, but I kind of just thought maybe the team would click a little bit better. I understand that it is the first game, so obviously nothing's going to be perfect, but I did think they were going to score more than 2 goals at the end of the night.
Well, definitely. I mean, I'm a Carolina fan, and I just feel like Teuvo did like a great all of those years in Carolina. He was great. I mean, last year was a little bit of a sit down, but I just feel like in overall, he was a great player and brought so much to the Hurricanes. And I do feel like this season he might need to adjust a little bit to the Chicago again, but I truly do feel like he's going to be great for them.
Yeah, I think them signing him, he'll definitely make his presence was known this game, but I think just moving more into the season, he'll be hopefully one of the Blackhawks star players, hopefully. All right, so then moving forward, we have predictions for Utah's name. The Utah Hockey Club is leaving the fate of their name up to the fans. The owner narrowed the 20 candidate names to 6: the Utah Blizzard, the Utah Mammoth, the Outlaws, Venom, the Yeti, and the Hockey Club. What are you guys' thoughts on these names? Are there certain names that you liked more than others? What are you guys' thoughts?
Now, I personally would go with the Utah Blizzard. And I mean, you could have like a Yeti as the mascot. I don't think you need to name the team the Utah Yeti. But I mean, Utah Hockey Club is kind of sticking. I just feel like it could use a better logo, maybe.
Yeah, most definitely. I just think just with the different kind of logos that we have, it's the most boring one on the NHL. I think if either if it was my personal two favorite were the Blizzard and the Mammoth. I think just having some type of like image associated with them kind of boost like kind of their merchandise and just like overall like the energy of them, because I mean it just says Utah across their jersey. It's kind of boring. So
Yeah, last year actually we did something about this, like when they first announced that they're moving to Utah, and my guess was the Salt Lake Stingers. Clearly did not stick, but that's okay. I don't necessarily love any of these. I think like we already have the Colorado Avalanche, so I think like Blizzard, not that it's like super similar, but
Might get a bit confusing.
yeah, it might get a little confusing. Like a Yeti could definitely have like a cool logo or a mascot. Same with a Mammoth, but
The Venom and the
yeah,
Outlaws.
I don't
I'm
love
not
really
quite sure
any
about
of
that.
them.
No, I agree with Cassie. I feel like for me, like the Yeti comparing to like all those 6 options is my favorite one. But I do like the classic feel Utah Hockey Club too. So I wouldn't mind if they just stick with that name.
They just need like a cooler logo.
Exactly.
And then they're fine.
And a jersey.
Yeah.
but I definitely do love the colors. I think those are like the big thing. And then with it being the Yeti, I think the colors would complement it. But yeah, I want it to be more than just hockey club. My personal opinion. But yeah. All right. So then moving forward with our dynamic duo, in honor of Draisaitl signing an 8-year contract with the Oilers and Crosby staying in Pittsburgh, what is your duo that you're most excited to watch this season? It could be anything from McDavid to from Draisaitl to McDavid and then Crosby to the Penguins. Kind of what are your goals? So then I'll start off with my dynamic duo. I'll go to the board. All right. So my personal choice was Seth Jarvis and the Carolina Hurricanes. I picked Seth Jarvis just due to his impact that he made on the ice last season. He was one of the top point scorers for the Carolina Hurricanes. He had over 60 points, over 30 goals. He led his team in power play goals with a total of 13. Just his impact on the ice was extreme. He was one of their best players, if not in my opinion, the best player on the ice. I just think you can't move past that, especially with him just before the season started signing his new 8-year. It was 8 years and then $63.2 million contract. I think he's worth the hype. He's worth everything that comes with that goal. I just can't wait to see him moving forward, especially this season with their game tomorrow. He is my biggest one for a dynamic duo with the Carolina Hurricanes.
I think that's a good pick. He definitely keeps the Carolina Hurricanes up there in the rankings. He's scoring. He has really great playmaking abilities. So yeah, I like that duo.
I definitely think it is a great duo, but not as great as the duo I'm about to talk about. Sidney Crosby, and I am sorry if I butcher this, Evgeny Malkin. I mean, there's not many years left with these two, so I'm going to try and enjoy it as many times as I can possibly. So Sidney Crosby, he's still putting phenomenal numbers at his age, and so is Evgeny Malkin. You can't get any better than this. I'm really hoping that they can get their act together and possibly win another Stanley Cup. But we'll see how that goes in Detroit later. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good duo. It's definitely not going to be around for much longer, which makes me sad too. I'm not really a Penguins fan, but I love Sidney Crosby. Yeah.
They got that brotherly bond on the ice and off the ice, so it's just nice to see.
I mean, it's a classic, and I just feel like you could add Letang into the trio too, just to make those three. And I feel like you cannot never go wrong with them. So yeah.
Yeah. All right, my pick. So I went with Nathan MacKinnon and Mikko Rantanen. I think that if you look back on even just yesterday, Rantanen had a hat trick. 2 of the assists were MacKinnon. So they're always connecting. You know, Rantanen might not score as much as MacKinnon, but he has those playmaking skills, which helps MacKinnon score as much as he does. They're the first and only Avalanche duo to get 40 goals and 100 assists consecutively in a season. But there was an interview recently where Rantanen, he said that he didn't mind being the Robin to MacKinnon's Batman. So I think that they're just a great duo. They're always connecting. So yeah, I think they're the best so far in the NHL.
Yeah, I totally like your pick. I think just the energy between the two of them is unmatchable. So I'm not mad at that pick. I'm not mad.
Okay, so I guess it's my turn. I also bring it back a little bit to the Hurricanes again, just my favorite team. As I said, I'm gonna go with Seth Jarvis and Sebastian Ahu. I just feel like they are the two greatest players in the Hurricanes for me right now. We have Ahu who's like his 8-year experience, have Seth Jarvis with his 4th. So I just feel like they are great players. Sebastian Ahu was the most valuable player for us, and he got the most points, most assists, most goals, and not far followed by Seth Jarvis. Jarvis had 33 goals, a little less than 3 goals less than Sebastian Ahu. And I just feel like they're great. Their dynamic is awesome, and it just feels like it's a little bit of like big brother, little brother kind of feel to it. So yeah, I just love them and their dynamic.
I really like watching the Hurricanes, and I think part of the reason is because of Seth Jarvis and Sebastian Aho. You know, they're always connecting, always scoring. They're fun to watch, so I like that duo as well.
Yeah, as a Canes fan, I can't be mad that you picked them. They're, I would say, the two best players on the team. Their energy is unmatchable. They complement each other so well, especially Aho being a little bit older than Seth. He's able to help guide him, give him kind of that older, like big brother insight, especially with Seth being like a little more immature. But I love just how the two are able to balance each other out, and then especially on the ice, they just connect so well. And I can't.
I am not a Hurricanes fan, but I mean, it's hard to argue with this duo. They are pretty good.
And both have 8-year deals, so we'll have them for a while.
I'm excited to see just how they're able to grow together, and then just like on the ice, I'm so excited. I can't. All right. So then moving to our next one, tonight's rapid fire match. There are 9 games tonight. Give your prediction for the winners for the games in a rapid fire round of the table. So the first matchups are the Canadiens and the Bruins. I'm picking the Canadiens.
I'm Bruins.
I'm going Bruins.
Bruins.
I can't, as a Carolina fan, I can't pick the Bruins, okay? That's straight up. All right, so then we have the Los Angeles Kings and the Buffalo Sabres. I'm going the Kings.
Kings.
Okay, that one's kind of a no-brainer in my opinion. All right, next one, we have the Florida Panthers and the Ottawa Senators. I'm going the Panthers.
I'm also going the Panthers. I think that they have proven that they're a force.
I'm going with the Panthers as well. It's hard to argue.
I'm going with Matthew Tkachuk, between the Tkachuk brothers, so Panthers too.
Most definitely. And then we have the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the New Jersey Devils. I'm going for the Devils.
I am too, but I think that this will be a close game. Like, I don't know. Part of me feels like it might be a little close.
I disagree. I don't think it's going to be close at all. I'm going with the Devils, though.
I'm going to disagree with you all. I'm going to go for the Leafs, even though...
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
I just feel like they have a chance. I love the Devils hockey, but I just feel like they might have something to that.
Okay, I can see that. All right, so then we have the Utah Hockey Club versus the New York Islanders. I'm going for Utah.
I'm also going Utah.
I'm rooting for Utah, but I think it's going to be the Islanders.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Islanders too.
All right. And then we have the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Detroit Red Wings. My dad's a Red Wings fan, so I'm going for the Red Wings.
Based off of the Penguins game yesterday, I am going Red Wings as well.
I'm praying to the Lords. Please, Penguins.
Red Wings.
All right, and then we have the Dallas Stars versus the Nashville Predators. I'm going for the Stars.
I'm also going to go the Stars, but I also think that this one's going to be a really good game and close game. I think there's a lot of great players on each team.
I'm going to go with the Predators. I feel like they had the best offseason out of any team.
I'm going with the Stars too. I feel like Steven Stamkos hasn't gotten his space yet. And I also feel like Brady Shea might be a good ad for them, for the Predators, but I still feel like the Stars have the X factor.
Yeah, most definitely. I will be watching Brady Shea tonight, but I think it's going to be the Stars. And then we have the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Minnesota Wild. I'm going for the Wild.
I'm also going Wild.
I'm going to be different. I'm going for the Blue Jackets.
Why?
You know, I just feel like they have a lot of motivation heading into this game.
Sure. I mean, I'm going Wild too.
All right, and then our last game, we have the St. Louis Blues and the San Jose Sharks. I'm going with the Blues. That was a no-brainer for me.
I know that it's Macklin Celebrini's debut, but I am also going Blues. I just don't think the Sharks have it yet.
I'm going with the Blues as well.
I'll go with the Blues too.
Yeah, that one I felt like was no-brainer, just on my thoughts. And then kind of going into our final thoughts, early Stanley Cup winners, what are your guys' thoughts? Who do you think, even though we're like 1 or 2 games in, what's a random team that you think might be able to take it home this year?
Give me a second to think about that one.
I think I'm gonna go with the Vancouver Canucks. I think that they came really close last year. I think that they have all of the parts. They just have to, figure a few things out. Like they have Quinn Hughes. He made some really great plays yesterday. Brock Bozer as well. Connor Garland. They have so many players who are able to score and also who are really good on defense. So I just feel like they have all the key pieces. And if everything goes well, if they don't hit like the injury bug or anything, I think that they have a really, really good shot at winning the cup.
I'm going to go with the Panthers back to back. I just feel like with the roster they have, it's kind of hard to argue like that they could possibly do it, honestly.
I'm not going to go with the Hurricanes, even though I really wish I could. I'll also go with Canucks. I just feel like if they don't hit the injury bug as well, I feel like they have a huge shot. Last year, they made it, well, this year, but like last season, they made such a great offseason. And it was, I feel like if they get Dakota Joshua back, they get Tkaczynenko back, I just feel like they can do it.
Yeah, most definitely. Mine are either the Carolina Hurricanes, just with, I think the way that they ended last season, I feel like with the push this season, they could really kind of make that forward step, but that's just me being a little biased. But if I were to pick the Hurricanes, I would pick the Panthers. I just think they have the energy and the momentum still moving from the cup to go back to back. And if it's any team, I feel like it could be them just due to their roster, due to the power that they still have, and especially with the way that they're starting out the season. Like, I don't see them really going down unless something really messes up their roster, if like a big injury happens. So I would either go with the Hurricanes or the Panthers.
I think that go ahead.
You can go. No, yeah, you can go.
Okay. I think that the Hurricanes are gonna have like a challenge though if they go up against like the Rangers, like say it's something like that, like in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Like I think they're not gonna be able to get past the Rangers. So
no, yeah. But I feel like one of the biggest questions is not who's gonna win, but if it's the Buffalo Sabres are gonna make it to the playoffs or not. They're currently 13 straight season out of the playoffs, and if they do not make it, they'll be the longest active draw in playoffs in every single sport. So
I mean, it's not looking good for them right now. They're 0-2, so
They're kind of just
yeah, I don't think they're gonna make it.
History will be made.
All right. So then also moving forward, we have tributes to Johnny Gaudreau. Is there any favorite tributes that you guys have seen? My personal favorite so far that I've seen is on the Calgary Flames with Dustin Wolf having on the back of his mask the painted picture of Johnny. That one's personally been my favorite one that I've seen so far.
I am a fan of the arts, so I saw the mural by the Blue Jackets, and I thought that was really touching.
I also think the mural was my favorite, but I also like how they're having a locker reserved for him as well. And where the Blue Jackets have a locker reserved for him, I think that's like super sweet. Keep his memory around, just like the mural.
So. Yeah, I choose Cole Caulfield getting his first goal of the season yesterday, just pointing to the sky, and also he changed his number to 13, and that's his first goal with that number. So it's really meaningful, and yeah, that was the game-winning goal. So I feel like it's even more special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most definitely. I think just throughout the season, we'll definitely see just that impact of what Johnny had on the whole NHL as a whole, and just knowing that everyone's there and like paying tribute to him. But yeah, most definitely. You guys have any?
Who do you guys think is going to win the Hart Trophy, each of you?
I said Nathan MacKinnon. I think he'll go back to back. He just does it all. He's a great player. He can assist people, but he can also score. So I think he will win again.
Well, as long as the Oilers get their act together, I went with Connor McDavid. The most basic answer, but I mean, how can you argue with it?
In the video, I said Sidney Crosby because Janae Overton said Ovechkin, but I'll probably say Connor McDavid as well. I feel like the Oilers are going to the finals again.
And I feel like
Panthers Oilers finals again, maybe?
Please no.
Who knows? I would say Connor McDavid too. I don't know. I just think the overall momentum, I could see him being the one going back to back, getting that and then just moving forward. But yeah, do you guys have anything?
That's all.
Go Penguins.
Are the Flyers going to choke in the playoffs?
Yes.
Oh, good. Why do we have to talk about that? Like, Philadelphia,
100%.
his baby's so bad recently, and I don't even know if I want to watch, but probably. I would say yes.
Same. I feel like last year was a fight for whoever does not want to go to the playoffs because no team was winning between the wild card. So I just feel like no again. Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I don't know. Maybe I could see it, but I don't know. I want to be optimistic. Maybe they won't. Maybe they will, though.
It's hard to be
I don't know.
optimistic with Philadelphia
Yeah,
sports.
I don't want to. I don't want to hate on them too much. So I'm just, maybe.
I will. My biased answer says yes.
But yeah, alrighty then. Alrighty. Yeah. All right. Thank you for joining us tonight, guys. And then we'll be back on Monday with the NFL.